All right, Ryan, action.
All right, well, first off, I just want to say good morning. I think you guys all know who I am. I'm Ryan Hamlin. I'm a rising junior at Southern Methodist University, financial economics major. This is my 2018 summer internship at ContraVest, a little bit of an overview. Just get started here. So coming into this process, of course, you have some things that you can expect to learn, and then coming out, some things that you might not have expected to learn. To start off, learn about ContraVest finance, of course. It's some exposure to that with Steve on the first day. Site acquisition, full sale property was the first one that I visited. We're going to get into that a little bit later. ContraVest Keys promise, we'll get into that as well a little bit later. Just a little bit of an overview before we start. And of course, how all three companies work together to produce the final product. Last day, time management skills, of course, confidence and social skills. A lot of that came from property management, doing the leasing and talking to potential residents. Budgeting here, as well as the property management, working with Melissa. Maintenance management, did a lot of that last year and a little bit of this year with Hector. Walked through construction management, Bluebeam, increased Microsoft Excel skills, and exposure to all three of the companies here. To start off, property management, worked with Melissa and Philip and Lauren. Melissa is an asset manager at Windermere, or the asset at Windermere. She manages a $50 million property, which is going to ContraVest as an income machine. Philip and Lauren are both leasing agents there. I worked a lot more with Lauren than I did with Philip. Through working with Lauren, I was able to become comfortable enough with the property to give leasing tours to potential residents, show them the amenities that we have that other companies or apartments might not have. Give us a little bit of an edge in the competition. Of course, trumping competition. The reason why we do that is to make sure that we're doing things more than the other multifamily high-density apartment complexes are doing, or if they're not doing that, to show us that we don't need to spend money in that area.
So you did get to shop all the comps?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Building walkthroughs. After the building is, or the apartment, the units are considered finished. Walk through with Melissa and Hector and the head of construction, whoever was there. It wasn't the superintendent. And make sure that everything's finalized. Make sure even the little tiny things, scratches, dents, minor stuff is fixed immediately before the first resident moves in. Investor tours and meetings, a lot of that was with Steve, and a little bit while I was working in property management. Austin, you had come in and did a little bit of work, showing them, the asset at Windermere and the amenities that we have and why that's a good decision to spend money and invest in. Budgeting and property finance, a lot of that was Melissa, along with the late rental and leasing applications. A lot of small things that go into a big property like that in order to have it run right. Marketing and property maintenance. Marketing did a lot of that, went around town, was giving small gifts and, of course, the attached brochures, a lot of our information and rents and stuff like that and rates. Property maintenance, I did a lot more of that last year. This year, of course, did a little bit of the sparkling, making sure that the units are perfectly ready for residents to move in, and what's advertised is exactly what they get. And customer service, of course, that's an everyday thing. Customers walking in, talking to residents, getting leases.
What's a late rental?
Late rental, so
what does that mean?
there's a little bit, that's a late rental process.
It's a bad thing.
Right, bad thing. So it's not as easy as you think it would be to manage a late rental. Of course, you have to send out notices, and then there's a buffer period of about 3 days until they start getting charged.
Paying rent.
Oh, late payment. Got
Late
it.
rental payment.
Okay.
The next cycle I was exposed to was construction, both actual construction and pre-construction. Initially, I worked with Ken Perry, he's the pre-construction director here, and Steve Roger, the president of ContraVest Construction Company. Learned Bluebeam. Bluebeam is an architectural program that allows you to take off some estimates in a more efficient manner than it would be writing down a hard copy blueprint. Preconceptual documents, and that's a overview of the different per costs. So you say per unit cost, square foot cost, how much you can take, use the takeoff tool and see how much concrete or wood is going to go to an entire property. Site acquisition, of course, that was a lot with Steve. My first exposure to that was going to full sale. I saw how ContraVest is sold to potential investors and how that process works initially. ContraVest finance, learned a lot about the backbone of what runs ContraVest. Return on capital, return on equity, internal return rate, NOI, which is one of the most important things, where the money comes from. And, working with Tyree and Tom, I was actually out on the job site, Universal 2. for this, things that I can take back to school and apply to my personal and academic life. The sales, I'm interested in sales. It's very interesting seeing how Steve puts together PowerPoint and the Teresa Keys model and ContraVest sales model to show these investors exactly what we're about and why it's a good idea to put their money where we want it. Business management, of course, seeing how 3 companies in one work together to produce that final product. Budgeting, that's both exposure to property management and here in the office. You know, what do we need to change, especially with John Schaefer, to make sure that ContraVest is running smoothly as a whole. Application major, business finance and economics. A lot of this stuff, especially the finance things, I was a little bit exposed to in schools more this year than last year, and it's very interesting to me personally to be able to use that in, you know, an internship. And of course, increased time management. Being 9 to 5, 5 days a week. Did a little bit last year, but being in the office is a little bit different. So, you know, having making sure you have time and managing your time to get things done that you need to get done on a deadline. A little bit of goofy slide.
Can I ask you
Yes.
just a question on that? So, I like the concept of the slide application education. So, you know, you were with us a little bit last summer, and so I was just curious, when, you know, was there anything from last summer that then you went to your classes this year that rang a bell with you, or reverse this time where you're working and you're like, oh, I remember I had, you know, I had some of that in class. Is there a direct connection between education and reality that you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, unfortunately, last summer I didn't do the entire internship.
Right.
So there was a few days in the office
You
that
did wash some dogs though, right?
I did watch a lot of dogs, that's for sure. And when I was exposed to the finance information at first, it was a little bit foreign to me. I think I only taken like half of microeconomics first, and
Right.
did 2 more this year. But coming back and being previously exposed to that, being able to use the information in a real business platform as well as in the classroom is actually really interesting to me. And it was exciting to use that information here in this internship this summer. A little bit of a...
Well, just,
Yeah.
sorry again. So, one of the things, to kind of summarize our business, I was telling Cole about this, and maybe you can take it with you to class as a whole. Like, I see our business as the economy. We're really the economy in action, and maybe you saw that with the different rotations, but that's what our business does. Creating the asset, physically and financially, you know, on paper, then building it. You really see that $40, $50 million going directly into the economy.
Absolutely.
Through the 30 or 40 trades that are out there, as well as the banks and the you know, attorneys and insurance and, you know, non-trade related stuff right on the site. But every one of those trades or businesses is affected by one of our projects. It is something to kind of have exposure to learn, because they're all careers or fields or jobs or what have you. So, you know, if you think of it in that regard, from macro to microeconomics, you know, the macroeconomics is $40 million going in the economy. The micro is, how does it go to that insurance company, that law firm, you know, that drywaller, that framer, that nail salesman, you know, that insurance salesman, that labor force guy that's out there trying to sell you to hire his laborers. You know, all that money goes into the economy and works its way through.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
hopefully you got that perspective.
I did. It was very interesting to see that on a micro and macro level, internally in business, and then on a macro level in the surrounding area, Orlando area even. A little bit of goofy slides goes along with things I didn't expect to learn. So that's me driving an excavator machine. I was lucky to have Tom. I've always been curious to see how
That's you in the machine?
Oh yeah, that's me in the machine. So dug a big hole, pushed around a little bit of dirt.
Not as easy as it looks, right?
It's not. I don't know if the video will play, but there's a part of it I was turning around, but shook myself out of it. And Tom's laughing in the background. Is there a subcontractor under there, hopefully? Oh,
underneath?
Yeah.
In
that hole?
Yeah.
The picture to the right is a little embarrassing enough, and 3 weeks into the internship. That is not a paper shredder. That is a typewriter.
Did you see that video?
No.
Cole and I both thought it was a paper shredder.
Swear to God?
Swear to God, he goes, stick your hand in. I was like, no, it's a paper shredder. Shred my fingers up. So it's not a paper shredder, it's actually a typewriter. I've never seen an electric one. So that's something.
Steve's trying to find
Is that in our office?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have that?
I never knew it got that dry out there at Universal, so that's,
Well, it
that's
dried
good.
out a little bit to put the pumps in the ground and
Yeah.
spill that water out.
Well, yesterday